Hey everyone. I'm writing this because I honestly don't know who to talk to anymore. My world is kind of falling apart, and maybe sharing this will help me get some clarity, or maybe someone out there will relate. I'm 34, my wife Emma is 32. We've been together for 9 years, married for almost 6. No kids, something I thought was a mutual decision. Careers first, maybe a family later. Looking back now, maybe that was just what I wanted to believe. It all started out so small. Last spring, she joined a gym. Said she wanted to get back in shape and feel alive again. I was totally supportive, who wouldn't be? I'm not the most athletic guy myself, but if it made her happy, great. She got a personal trainer. His name's Jason. Younger than me, super fit, confident, that stereotypical gym guy. At first, she just mentioned him casually, said he was really helping her stay motivated. Then she started going on walks after training sessions. Said it was to cool down and stretch. I honestly thought nothing of it. I figured it was good for her. She seemed more energetic, even cheerful. But gradually, things started to feel off. She was getting home later and later. Sometimes with wet hair, claiming she showered at the gym. One night, I overheard her laughing in the bathroom while talking on the phone. When I walked in, she immediately hung up and said it was just her friend telling a joke. I started getting that feeling in my gut, you know the one. But I didn't want to believe it. I loved her. I trusted her. At least, I thought I did. So I let it go. The late nights, the weird phone calls, the mood swings. I told myself it was just stress, or maybe she was finally feeling better about herself and didn't know how to share it with me. We'd had some rocky moments before, every couple does, but nothing that ever made me doubt her loyalty. Until one night about 2 months later. I got home from work a bit earlier than usual. Emma wasn't home yet, and I noticed her gym bag was gone. Normal, I thought. But then I saw her iPad charging on the kitchen counter. That was odd, she always took it with her. Curiosity got the better of me. I know, privacy, boundaries, etc. But something was gnawing at me. I opened her messages. Most were with her friends or her sister. Then I saw a name I didn't recognize. J, no emoji, no last name, just the letter. I tapped it. That was the moment my stomach dropped. There were weeks of messages. Flirty. Personal. Way too personal. Things like, can't stop thinking about your hands on my waist today. Wish I could just stay in bed with you after our walk. He still has no idea, lol. I felt like the ground opened under me. I just sat there, staring. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't want to believe it, even with the words right in front of me. I wanted there to be some explanation, some twisted, absurd reason it wasn't what it looked like. But it was. I didn't confront her that night. I closed the messages, put the iPad back, and pretended like everything was normal. I needed time. Time to think. Time to decide what the hell I was going to do. I wasn't ready to lose her. But I also wasn't ready to forgive her, not yet. Alright, here's where everything exploded. After finding those messages, I tried to keep it together. For about a week, I acted like I didn't know anything. I needed to observe, see if things were still happening, or if it was just some twisted phase. I even told myself maybe it was just emotional, not physical. I didn't want to blow up my marriage over texts, even if they were disgusting to read. But then came that day. It was a Saturday afternoon. She said she was going to the gym, and then maybe grabbing coffee with a friend. I waited about 20 minutes after she left, then got in my car and drove to the gym. I parked across the street. My heart was racing the entire time, like I was doing something wrong, even though I was the one being betrayed. At first, I didn't see anything. I waited in the car, watching people come and go. Then I saw them, Emma and Jason. Not working out. Just standing near the side of the building, out of view from the front desk. She was in leggings and a hoodie. He was in a tank top, arms crossed, leaning in close. Then they kissed. Not a friendly kiss. Not a peck. This was hands on shoulders, pressed up against each other, public, shameless kissing. Then they hugged. She smiled like a teenager with a crush. I felt sick. And that was it. I couldn't take it anymore. I got out of the car, crossed the street, and walked straight up to them. Neither of them noticed me until I was 5 feet away. And even then, they didn't flinch. Emma actually laughed. "Are you following me now?" she said, like I was the crazy one. Jason looked uncomfortable, like he just realized what was happening. But she didn't try to hide anything. No apology. No guilt. Just pure attitude. "You weren't giving me what I needed," she said. "You're boring. I tried to tell you. You just didn't listen." That was the moment something inside me shut off. I turned and walked away. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just went home. I called a lawyer the next morning. The morning after I saw them at the gym, I felt numb. I hadn't slept. I just sat on the couch all night, going over everything in my head. All the signs. All the little lies. And the way she looked at me when I caught her, it wasn't shock, it wasn't regret. It was contempt. Like I was the problem. So I called a divorce attorney. I didn't know what I was doing, but I needed to do something. I made an appointment for the following Monday. Just hearing the receptionist say the word divorce made it feel more real. Emma came home around noon that Sunday. She walked in like nothing had happened. No apology. No explanation. She actually said, "So, are we going to have an adult conversation, or are you still being dramatic?" I swear, I almost laughed. Dramatic? I had kept calm through weeks of lies. I'd watched her kiss another man. And now I was the dramatic one. When I asked her if it was physical, she rolled her eyes. "Of course it is. What, you thought we were just texting dirty for fun," she said. "You haven't touched me in months. What did you expect?" That was a lie. We hadn't been perfect, but I always made time for her. I asked her how long it had been going on. She shrugged. "A few months. Maybe more. It's not like I was keeping track." I asked why she didn't just leave me if she was so unhappy. And then came the part that really broke something in me. She said, "Because I like our life. The apartment, the stability. I just don't want it with you anymore. But I figured you'd get over it eventually." She thought I'd get over it. Like it was a bad haircut or a broken appliance. I told her I was filing for divorce. She laughed again. "You're really going to throw everything away over this?" I said, "You already did. Filing for divorce should have been the end of it. But with Emma, nothing is ever simple." After I told her I was moving forward with the paperwork, she went into full meltdown mode. One minute she was screaming at me, calling me a coward and a traitor. The next, she was crying on the floor, begging me to think it through. That same night, she tried to seduce me, like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just admitted to months of cheating. When I refused, she lost it. She started accusing me of trying to destroy her life. Said I was overreacting, that Jason didn't mean anything. "You're still my husband," she snapped. "This is our life. You don't just get to walk away." She had no remorse. Only panic at losing control. But I was done. I started sleeping in the guest room. Told her I wanted space until the paperwork was finalized. That's when the weird stuff began. I started noticing things out of place. My email was logged out. My phone charger was missing. I'd come home and my closet would be rifled through. Then one night, I caught her going through my backpack. When I asked her what the hell she was doing, she said, "Just making sure you're not hiding anything from me." The irony almost knocked me out cold. The worst part? She started posting on social media like I was the bad guy. Pictures of her at the gym, all smiles, captions like, "Sometimes people show their true colors when it's too late. Healing and growing stronger every day." Mutual friends began messaging me, asking if everything was okay. I didn't even know what to say. How do you explain that your wife cheated on you, blamed you for it, then tried to gaslight the world into thinking you were the villain? But then something even more unexpected happened. I got a message from someone I didn't know. It was Jason's ex-girlfriend. So yeah. Jason's ex-girlfriend messaged me. Let's call her Maya. It started with a short DM. "Hey. You don't know me, but I think we should talk. It's about Jason and your wife." At first, I wasn't sure if I should respond. I didn't know if it was a trap, someone stirring the pot. But curiosity, and let's be honest, desperation, won out. I messaged her back. What she told me blew my mind. Turns out, Maya and Jason were together for almost 3 years. She had just moved out of their shared apartment 2 weeks before I caught Emma and Jason at the gym. She said she suspected Jason had been cheating, but didn't have proof, until she found photos on his phone. Photos of Emma. Some at the gym. Some very much not at the gym. She also found messages. And here's the kicker, Jason wasn't just seeing Emma. He was sleeping with 2 other clients at the gym. Emma was just the one who got the most attached. Maya said she was reaching out because she felt awful. She didn't want me to think this was some kind of love story. "He's not her soulmate," she wrote. "He's a player. She's just another notch on his belt." And then she sent me screenshots, stuff Jason had said about Emma behind her back. Jokes about how geezy she was. Comments like, "She's married but desperate. I don't even have to try. She cries after we hook up. Red flag city." I was stunned. Disgusted. Weirdly, vindicated. Everything Emma had thrown away, our marriage, our trust, was for this guy. And she didn't even know he was laughing at her behind her back. I debated whether or not to tell her. But as you'll see in part 7, I didn't have to. She found out on her own, and it was glorious. So, Emma found out. I didn't tell her about Maya or the screenshots. I wanted to, trust me. I imagined the look on her face. But something told me she'd find out eventually, and oh boy, did she ever. A few days after Maya and I talked, Emma came home in a state I can only describe as unhinged. She slammed the door, threw her keys across the room, and screamed at the top of her lungs. I thought something terrible had happened. Turns out, it had, but not to me. Jason dumped her. Not gently. Not even face to face. He texted her. Something like, "This isn't working. I need space. Please don't come to the gym anymore." Brutal. But it gets better. Apparently, one of the other women Jason was sleeping with found out about Emma, and decided to blow the whole thing up. She confronted him at the gym, in front of everyone. Management got involved. Jason was put on leave. Word spread fast, and Emma got caught in the storm. People started whispering. Judging. Her perfect little fantasy. Gone. She screamed at me like I had set it all up. Like it was my fault she got humiliated. "This is what you wanted, isn't it? You wanted me to suffer." I just stared at her. I didn't say a word. She broke down crying. Said she made a mistake. Said she didn't know what she was thinking. Said she wanted to fix things. That we could start over. I didn't say a word. And then she flipped, again. You're pathetic. You think you're better than me? You let this happen. You drove me to it. It was exhausting. I just walked out and went to a friend's place for the night. When I came back the next day, she was gone. Left a note saying she was staying with her cousin to clear her head. Spoiler, she wasn't at her cousin's. So remember how Emma said she was staying with her cousin to clear her head? Yeah, that was a lie. Again. A mutual friend saw her 2 days later, at a bar, sitting close with some guy. Not Jason, obviously. A new guy. Someone she apparently met online right after Jason dumped her. She moved on like it was a speed dating competition. I wouldn't even have known if the friend hadn't sent me a picture. There she was, sitting on a bar stool, laughing like nothing had happened, legs crossed, holding the guy's hand. It wasn't even the cheating anymore, it was the constant lies. The way she rewrote reality to fit her mood. First, I was her whole world. Then, I was boring. Then, I was the villain. Then, I was supposed to be her safety net when everything else crumbled. I sent her a text that night. Don't come back. Ever. I'll handle the rest through the lawyer. She didn't reply. Instead, her mother called me the next day. I had no idea she'd even told her family. But apparently, Emma had spun a version of events that painted her as the victim of a cold, emotionally unavailable husband who abandoned her emotionally for years. She left out the part where she was banging her trainer in a supply closet. I told her mom the truth. Calmly. Even forwarded a couple of screenshots, just to make the point. Her mom went silent. Then said, "I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I had no idea." I guess the cracks in Emma's stories were finally showing. Even to the people who used to defend her no matter what. That same evening, I got a message from Emma. No words. Just a sad face emoji. That was it. She still couldn't face reality. Still couldn't take responsibility. But I was done waiting for her to grow up. I was done with the emotional manipulation. And then, just when I thought nothing else could surprise me, she showed up at my job. So, she showed up at my job. I work in a fairly professional environment, office building, open floor, very corporate. She walked in like it was totally normal, ignoring the receptionist, heading straight for my desk like we were still married and she was bringing me lunch or something. I was in the middle of a meeting when someone came in and whispered, "There's a woman looking for you. Says she's your wife." I stepped into the hallway and there she was, Emma, eyes red, makeup smudged, holding what looked like a gift bag. I asked her what the hell she was doing there. She said she just wanted to talk, that I hadn't answered her texts, as if a sad face emoji counts as trying to fix things, and she needed closure. I told her she needed to leave. Right then. She begged me, in front of coworkers, to just listen. Said she missed me, that she realized she'd made a mistake, and that maybe this was the wake-up call we both needed. Then she tried to hug me. In the hallway. At work. I stepped back. Told her, again, to leave. She got defensive. Loud. Started crying, then yelling. You don't care at all, do you? After everything we've been through, you're just walking away. You think you're so perfect. Security had to escort her out. I was mortified. My boss pulled me aside after and just said, "You all right?" Luckily, they were understanding. But that moment, her showing up, uninvited, emotionally spiraling in public, was the final confirmation I needed. This wasn't just a broken marriage. It was toxic. And I was finally free of it. Or so I thought. Because one last message came in before everything was finalized. And it wasn't from her. It was from Jason. Jason's message came at 2:17 a.m. Yo man. We should talk. I think Emma's lying to both of us. I stared at the screen in disbelief. For a second, I thought it was a joke, or maybe someone messing with me. But nope, it was him. The guy who helped wreck my marriage. The guy who smirked while I watched my wife throw everything away. I didn't respond right away. I was too tired, too done. But a strange curiosity itched at the back of my mind. What could he possibly say that would matter now? 2 days later, I gave in. I told him to meet me, public place, middle of the afternoon, no drama. We met at a park near the gym. He looked different. No swagger. No gym tank. Just a hoodie and sunglasses, like he didn't want to be recognized. He didn't waste time. She told me she was separated when we met, he said. Said you were roommates, practically. That you were cold, didn't sleep together, that it was over. I didn't reply. Then I found out about the other guy. And the one after him. And I realized. I wasn't the exception. I was just a chapter. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded paper. A printed message. Emma's writing, clearly a screenshot from some app. It read. He's just a rebound. A distraction. The real prize is the settlement. If I can make, my husband, look like the unstable one, maybe I get the apartment. Jason said quietly, I was a pawn. Same as you. I took the paper. Read it. And I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was finally over. The illusion. The excuses. The hope that maybe, somehow, there was something real in all of it. There wasn't. Jason left after that. No handshake, no apology. Just walked away, head low. He looked like a man who finally saw the mirror and didn't like what stared back. A week later, the divorce finalized. I changed my number. Moved out of the apartment. Deleted every photo that still had her in it. The silence that followed. It wasn't sad. It was peaceful. Like the air after a long, violent storm. Sometimes, people ask me if I regret not fighting harder. If I miss her. If I'd take her back if she showed up now, different, healed. I don't. Because here's the truth, you can't rebuild something that was never solid to begin with. And sometimes the best closure, is no longer caring if they ever give it to you.